Greetings YouTube, Kevlar Chicken here, and in today's video I will be reviewing what has actually been my first ever air-powered rifle. So this is a break barrel single shot air rifle. This is the MP512M. I'll let you take a look at it. I will do the shooting segment a bit later in the video. I will put a text down below to show you which time you can skip if you're only interested in seeing this shoot. But now let's get on with the review. First, I want to start off with a bit of a disclaimer. This is a very old Russian-made air rifle, so this review is just for fun because it might not be available right now due to the current circumstances. You know, the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. I don't want to get into that, but I just want to review this product because it's a nice one. I was on the, I was wondering if I should, because for most people this won't be available or at least restricted, but there might be some people at least near Bulgaria or Russia that can get the second hand, or those countries, and also review it just for fun and just the shooting segment, which will be separate. So let's get on with the review now that I've gone through the disclaimer. All the characteristics of the gun will be in the description in both Imperial and European units, so I won't be overly specific in the video. I will leave it in the description. The only thing I will mention is that its internals are mostly metal and the stock is plastic, but in most cases it's wooden, which would be preferable. And it shoots 5.5mm pellets, which are these. Can take a look at them. Yeah, so those are 5.5mm or .22 caliber, 1 gram or 15.42 grain pellets. So just a little above 15 grains for you Americans out there. You use that unit, so no, not too big, but still a lot bigger than my BB guns and a lot more powerful. Now I will start off with the positives, then go on to the negatives, and then the conclusion. That's how I'll go with this video. And at the end, which will be shot separately, will be my shooting. I will also upload a shooting video entirely separately, just so you can view that later. So let's get started. I will be reading off of a script, so I can keep my thoughts more condensed and precise. If you don't mind my eyes rolling, if you're wondering what that is, I'm just helping myself a bit with a script because I like to blabber on a lot and I don't want this to turn into a 1-hour video. So the pros, let's start with the pros, the positives. First off, for the price that I got this gun is pretty powerful, for the price it's pretty much unbeatable. The performance, the power, it's kind of like honestly the AK of break barrel single shot air rifles. It's just great. My dad bought this for me when I was 12. I'm currently 28. At one point I was very addicted to shooting pellets in my backyard, just shooting targets, shooting anything I could find, and I've put it through at least 12,000 pellets at one point during 2 months where I was very active in shooting it. It's a lot more, but those are the ones I counted during the time where I was most active shooting it. Now this has sat on a shelf. It hasn't been super consistently shot, but it has survived that and it's still fully functional and pretty great. So yeah, it's stood the test of time. The price is pretty great if you can find it. People are selling the second hand in some places. Please do check your local laws if you can buy this or if you need to register, because this does have some approximately 20 joules of energy or something like that, which is not legal everywhere. So please do check your local laws before you make these purchases. Just as a slight disclaimer, because I'm in Bulgaria, I know that after a certain power is exceeded, I need to register it in the local police department. However, this does not exceed that, but despite that, this is considered somewhat of a real weapon and does have a serial number that's registered there. So depending on where you're at, if you're buying things like these, please check the legality. I don't want to get you guys in trouble, that's why I'm diverging the conversation here, but yeah, that's important. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, with the positives. So maintenance is a breeze with this. The only thing that happens is the bolts loosen up a bit and you just need to retighten them, and you can use pretty much any screwdriver just as long as it fits here. Don't tighten it too much because the spring, and you just retighten it. You can clean the barrel with this rod that comes with it. You put a little napkin on it, you shove it, you take it out, and sometimes you oil some of the parts with some gun oil. BB gun oil works too, regular gun oil works, and it's ready to go. Doesn't need too much maintenance. So what's the other positive? Well, it has a rifled barrel, unlike my BB guns, so this is pretty accurate. Like, if you can get into a very stable position, especially if you have something like a tripod and shoulder it properly, sorry, you can get very accurate. I personally haven't tried it over a super long distance, but to about 30 yards you can be super accurate, and especially if the iron sight is properly adjusted. But if you're shooting like the regular distance that you shoot with BB guns, or even shoots of 3 times that, this is 10 times more accurate and approximately 8 times more powerful. So yeah, this is a bit more of a serious weapon, but it is only single shot. There is also the trigger safety, which sometimes I forget, and it's a click before I click the trigger, which is annoying, but you get used to that. I appreciated having a safety a lot, and it's really simple and intuitive. You just click here and then you can shoot. I'm not gonna touch the trigger now, but yeah. So like I said, one of the standout features is that this is an air rifle. It's pretty powerful, but do check your local laws. But this is legal almost anywhere. Like, if things that are weapon-like are legal, that are lower power, this is legal almost anywhere with minimum documentation. But like I said, check your local laws. This isn't legal advice, just to be safe. So the other thing I like about this is if you have a mouse infestation, for example, and you wanna hunt down a mouse, or let's say a bird that's been shitting on your property, you know it's legal to kill it, it's an invasive species or whatever. My dad once made me kill a bird that was like eating the things he was planting in the garden. It was just one specific species. I know some people get mad at killing animals, but maybe this isn't the channel for you. Either way, I was tasked with the side quest of killing those little rascals during that season. And killing small birds, no problem with this. And it can stay loaded for quite a while. Like, it's the same principle that with a bow versus a crossbow. The crossbow has the advantage that it can stay loaded, whereas with the BB guns I kind of worry about that capsule loosening or the air leaking out. This can stay loaded for hours. Probably it shouldn't stay loaded for days on end, because the spring I think would loosen up because there is pressure inside. But yeah, you can keep it in a loaded position for a lot longer, and kind of, you know, let's say you're hunting a mouse, you can stay like a sniper, like in this position, and when you're ready to take the shot, you can take it. It's not like anything can happen, but you do only get one shot. So now we're gonna start off with the negatives. First of all, the single shot. Obviously, if you're more towards the hunting part and you're a rich guy, there's better options. Like if you're a rich kid, you can get those with the bottle of air that have like, they're semi-auto, that have 8 to 10 shots and are very powerful. However, those are a lot more powerful, probably require a lot more paperwork almost anywhere, and the prices are outrageous. You also need to reload the gas. But yeah, those are a better option. Like, yes, the price and the legality is a problem, but if I say that they're not better, I would be lying. If I said that they're not more powerful options out there. The other more understandable drawback is because this doesn't have normal recoil. It's just you're loading the spring like this. I'm not gonna do it fully. You're gonna see the full load on the shooting part, but since you're breaking it and pushing it all the way here, I'm gonna do it right now, later, and putting the pellet here and shooting, it's not like normal recoil, it's more of a vibration, and over time these bolts loosen. Like, I would say every 15 to 20 shots you need to retighten them a bit, otherwise it loses accuracy, which is pretty annoying. That brings me to point 2. You can put a Picatinny rail and then a scope to make this more accurate and not rely on the iron sight. However, because of that vibration exactly, I've heard people on forums, I haven't actually tried with the Picatinny rails, I've only tried on the rail here, but it's not the proper size for my scope and it just falls off. But I've heard people on forums, and even the guy at the gun shop said, even if you mount it properly and everything, these rifles tend to, because of that vibration, the scope loosens up. No, it's not like normal recoil like with an actual firearm. It's more, like I said, more of a vibration. Kind of does this a little bit, it shakes it once the spring loads the air into the chamber, and when it pushes us out violently to push out the pellet, it kind of shakes, and it feels kind of nasty. Like, obviously better than recoil, but you know, normal recoil would just be back and forth, right? Kind of like a blowback BB gun, like that simulates recoil. This is more due to that shaking, the scope loosens up, which it wouldn't on a real rifle because the movement would only be back and forth. It would be harder to be accurate because, you know, real weapon would be a lot more powerful, a real firearm, but like I said, The difference is the scope mounting. You can mount a scope. I haven't tried it, but there have been testimonies that it loosens up the same way that the lower part here loosens up. And I've had the same problem with the iron sight. Like after a few hundred shots, now the iron sight is a lot more durable. It took a lot of time, but at one point it loosened up and just completely fell apart because of those vibrations, and I had to put it back on a few times. That is annoying. So that's kind of a both good and a bad thing for accuracy. It's pretty accurate, but you do need to carry around a screwdriver. Since the bolts are big, pretty much any screwdriver that you can roughly fit and kind of tighten them is good. They're not some super small bolts where you can't find a screwdriver for them. Almost any screwdriver works. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. You need to carry around a screwdriver if you want to do more than 20 accurate shots. Kind of stupid. You also can't tighten it too much because then you can't open the barrel. It's not too much of an issue, but it is annoying. Maybe in the future I'll buy a Picatinny rail and I'll try it out. I mean, if I can get it like 20 accurate shots, I mean it is single shot, and then I have to retighten it just a little bit, it might still be worth it. I do have a scope and I've mounted around with duct tape, but that's pretty ugly and it doesn't stay on properly. So the conclusion, honestly, if you can get it, if it's legal, I highly recommend this. It's probably the only rifle with that much power under, I would say $200. So if it's legal, if you can afford it, and if you can find one in good condition, there's nothing better in that price range. But I would mainly recommend it for backyard shooting. If you're more into pest control or humane animal killing, like I wouldn't wanna hunt squirrels with this, even if there was a squirrel infestation and I was a farmer and my life depended on it, or whatever imaginary scenario. If you're hunting anything bigger than a small bird or a mouse with this, you might just end up giving the animal a concussion, which will make it die a few days later, and up until then you're just gonna look at a very injured animal. And even though you wanted to kill it, that's not the most humane way. So only hunt very small game. If you're on a budget, this is mostly for plinking. Still, never shoot people with this. This is still very powerful. But yeah, overall worth it. Very fun. Just make sure to bring out the screwdriver. The price of this, as far as I can tell, hasn't changed too much during inflation. However, the ammo definitely has. So that's why I don't shoot my guns as often. So all that being said, if you can find it, it's worth it. The conclusion is, if you can find it, it's worth it. If it's legal where you live, probably should not hunt with this. Spend more money on a better modern rifle if you want to humanely kill small critters that are annoying you for whatever reason, or you just need to get rid of them. For plinking in your backyard, it's great. And I'll leave you guys with the shooting segment later in the video. So this has been a very long video. If you watched up until this point, please like and subscribe, share. These videos do require some time and thought to make, so it's greatly appreciated. And see you guys in the shooting segment.